Hey guys, this is Tattoo Tony, and today I'm taking you back to the cemetery where I explored the other day, and we're going to take a little drive through Alton so you can see what it looks like on the way to the cemetery. But in any case, a lot of people asked me what the lady was talking about at the end of the video, and me and Andrew initially saw a lady sitting by a tombstone or a grave marker that we realized was unmarked. It looked like it was under a willow tree, but she was kind of dressed, I don't know, differently, flamboyantly, different colors. It looked almost like an older lady with a shawl, or maybe somebody from another country. That was just my initial impression from viewing it. And so we watched for a little while. We were actually filming other things. And Andrew asked me a question. He said, what do you think she's doing down there? Mourning for a loved one? I said, well, that's a really old headstone, and I don't think so. I said, is it an older lady, Andrew? And he said, no. And I said, well, it's probably somebody into witchcraft or something, you know. I said, I really didn't think about it because it's, Halloween, but there's probably going to be some different sort of people in this really old cemetery in America's most haunted small town today. And so in any case, she left, and Andrew said, hey, I want to go check out that tombstone. And so we went down there, and I call it a tombstone, headstone, grave marker. We went down there and took a look, and I continued to film. And then, all of a sudden, Andrew says, hey, she's coming back. And I said, no. From what direction? Because it looked like she was long gone. She comes back, and she says something. I couldn't really tell what it was, but I said, yeah, we were kind of wondering what you're doing. And she said she was communicating with spirits, and that marker called her to it. And then she said that she didn't know what it was. I said, well, if you're talking to the dead, do you get any answers? And she said, no, not really, just yes or no's. And I didn't think about it at the time because I was just kind of standing there, but looked like she had some divining rods and a little book. And she told me that she believed it was somebody in their 20s from the 1800s that died. Well, got about a 50-50 on being right with the guess on male or female. Definitely probably 1800s. You could tell that by the marker and everything else that's in the cemetery. You know, age, who knows? But, So then conversation continued. I kind of just stood there. Andrew was standing there looking at me. And she told me and Andrew about walking around the cemetery and spirits calling her. And then she told us that she goes into stores and has to buy paintings or objects that are haunted that call her to them, and told us a story about, a painting calling her, and she didn't buy it, and she left and was sick, and she couldn't move, and somebody else had to go back in and purchase it for her, and as soon as it got back to her, she was able to move again, and said that she keeps these objects in her house, and that she had a painting with a crack in the center, and that the painting called her to it, and she put her hand on it in the center, and it made her sick, physically sick for several days, and that she would not do that again. And I don't know, it kind of went on. After a little bit, I don't think I saw a whole lot of conviction in this. It seemed to me to be like a hobby or something to do to be interesting. I mean, I'm kind of a non-believer and a skeptic, and nothing wrong with that. So occasionally, kind of in my mind, when I find somebody that really truly believes in some of those things, and I can tell they have a lot of conviction, I just can't help it. My mind goes to mental disorder, or hallucinations, or something's going on. It's just, I've been entertained, watched a lot of shows about ghosts, paranormal, UFOs, like to listen to Coast AM and other things, but, that's just what I can't help it. That's just, the way my mind works. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I wanted to give you a little explanation This is a very old cemetery in Alton, Illinois. It's very, I guess, famous or well known for having Elijah Lovejoy, who is an abolitionist preacher or minister from the Northeast that ran a free press, if you will, and his press was destroyed several times by the townspeople before the Civil War, and then eventually they burnt down the building, the site of his maybe third press, I believe, or second press. The first one they broke up and threw in the river. The second time they burned down the warehouse or the area that he was printing from, and I believe he died in the fire, maybe relatives as well. I know at least, I believe him, his wife, and maybe his daughter are buried in this cemetery. You saw earlier there were some Tuskegee Airmen. There's probably some other interesting people. After this visit, I stopped by a coffee shop called The Post, and it's in a really old, beautiful post office in downtown Alton that had nothing in it for quite some time. Really good coffee, good drinks, pretty fancy, good stuff. If you're there, I recommend you stop by. But they have these paintings in there, and some of them, I might have read it before, but I didn't realize it. There was a really old painting of somebody who was in a record book from Alton, Illinois for riding their bicycle around the world, circumventing the globe on bike. And then it said something like the 1925, I believe, or 29 Guinness Book of World Records. There's an individual from Alton who holds the record for being the fastest bricklayer. I found that kind of interesting too. This is a very neat cemetery. I really suggest making a visit. It's a shame there's some, headstones falling over. Some of them I'm not even sure look like maybe somebody might have knocked them over. We saw another individual that day on Halloween in the cemetery that was, wearing all black, lady, and with a camera. I don't know if she was trying to capture spirits or take selfies or what she was doing. But in any case, she was running around here, there. Andrew kept pointing it out while I was trying to film. And then on her way out, the lady was like down on all fours in front of a headstone. I really didn't catch it, and then all of a sudden we drove by down the path and other people walked by, and it looked like she ran off and tried to hide behind a tombstone. So I guess that was kind of interesting. I've been to this cemetery before. I could actually spend a lot of time in here if I was filming interesting headstones with dates and ones that give the story of where somebody is from, what school they went to. Really cool cemetery. And I'm lucky to have it nearby. It's up on a hill, old part of town. Unfortunately, a lot of Alton is being lost, a lot of the old stuff. One of the oldest homes that I know of in Alton that's still in existence, a stone home I made a video on, is now falling in, roofs caving in. Anyways, you can go back and check it out. If you liked the video, like, subscribe, share. Thanks for watching. Hope that explanation helped. Have a great day.